We're back once again after the short break here. We got a exciting match coming up here from the lower bracket. It's going to be Russia versus France. Still, same FIFA commentating it, and this time I'll be joining with the one and only Juan Cristo. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I am that person. It's been a while since I commentated, so I'm kind of glad that I'm back here in the booth, and we're seeing France versus 90 degrees turn France and like one color over, something along those lines. Like if you flip, like if you just rotate the Russian flag like 90 degrees and then you just move it like to the right, then it becomes France.
Yeah,
Something like that.
you just swap the white and blue essentially.
Yeah, swap the white and blue, 90 degrees, and we have France versus France. Like there is this thing in Mania that we always like to make matchups be the same, like Indonesia against reverse Poland or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Well, this is another classic.
Either Poland
like
versus
Peru
reverse,
versus Peru without the
Indonesia.
flag, or with the flag, with the leaf rather.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even like something like United States versus the without the stars United States, or in this case Malaysia,
yeah.
kinda.
Classic. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, but yeah, with Russia versus France this year, it might not look like the seed difference is kind of that big because they coming from like lower bracket, I guess the lower bracket I would say, and essentially these might be a close matchup this seems.
Yeah, it is somewhat interesting. Like this is the first round of the lower bracket in the quarterfinals is always kind of like one-sided for the most part, because there's always one team that won a game on the winners bracket and one team that won a game on the losers bracket. So the team that usually won from the losers bracket has the underdog title, because usually you don't see upsets on the round of 16. If anything, it's just on the very closest seeds. And Russia being number 10 here against France being number 20, there's a big seed discrepancy, but I have my doubts about the Russian advantage for this matchup. I think it's going to be a contested match. Not really sure if it's going to go to tiebreaker, but I think it's not going to be as far apart as the seeds suggest in this particular instance.
Alright, we should be seeing once I guess the players are in the lobby, because we're probably not seeing much of it just yet. Interestingly enough, I guess their protects and bets have been kind of all over the place. For me personally, when I saw Russia's protects, France protects and bans, it's up in the air basically.
It is kind of up in the air, yes. But I don't know, I'm trying to like scan quickly through the statistics again. And overall, I will argue that Russia is a team that is more competent in Rise than what France is looking like, and France may be able to damage them on like the hybrid department, or more specifically the LN department. So we'll have to see in that regard. Like I think Russia is gonna go for the just pick Rise strategy and just call it a day. And France, I mean, it will depend on how the first couple points go. In that case, France may be able to keep peaking Rise against Russia if they manage to win the first point or two. But otherwise, I think it's just going to stick to the LN strategy.
I think it's more like that France is kind of unlikely to pick Rice, because from the core players in itself is kind of all-rounded, but has a slight a bit of a slant in terms of Rice. So hybrid long-node and SVs are pretty much their, I guess, more of an all-rounded, kind of a jack of all trades kind of scenario, but the Rice is kind of the weakest point in that scenario. Russia, maybe in terms of, I guess, the nodes especially, not too much in the way of it. Yeah, but we're seeing well. protect for SV for France there.
I think this is not the first time that France has been protecting SVs. I believe they picked this on the previous matchup against the Czech Republic. The problem is the first matchup they had, it was against Japan, if I recall correctly, which you don't want to protect, neither pick SVs against Japan.
Yeah. Although to be fair, first Frost as an SV2 pick, we can quite have seen I guess more than 2 protects on that particular SV pick. Not sure why that would be the case.
We see a Rice 2 here being protected by Russia, kind of going towards the trend that we called earlier with Russia being maybe the team that's going to aim for the Rice picks, and France maybe trying to abuse the lack of all-rounderness, I guess, that Russia may have a little bit in the LN/SV department, perhaps even in some of the hybrids. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, like, here, like, Russia banning SB1. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just killed Break Me.
Yeah, well, essentially, SV, a ban for Russia might be a feasible choice, given that France SVs in particular has been really fairly strong, or at least stronger than Russia, Russian Federations anyway. But yep, there's the ban from Russia is going to be SV1. Break Me, like I said before.
Are we seeing a raw understanding as a ban here by France, or are they going to go for something else?
I believe might be Korja, Tree of Misery, or Rice Tree. Might be a feasible ban, but you never know. Oh, actually,
they're
Carry Me
actually
Away.
banning Carry Me Away.
That's fair enough. That's the hardest hybrid pick of the entire quarterfinals. So that's a fair
that's true, right? Like, even if you feel that Rice may not be your strongest suit, you still are outclassed to some degree against Russia in the physical capabilities. So getting rid of, you know, the most physical or like the hardest, more demanding hybrid is also not so bad. So knocking Carry Me Away out of the park. And
yeah, we'll see.
what
SV
they're gonna
pick
open
for
it up
France.
with. I mean, I'm not sure if I would just open with the SVs here. It's more like a thing that I want to have saved in case we need to like get back into the match. That is only if you think you have a big advantage on SVs. If you don't, then maybe you can just pick it for starters. But otherwise, I mean, I think Pocket Hero maybe could be a good opening pick.
Yeah, all right, there you go. you just called it. Yeah. I mean, I guess Packet Hero was like being shown like previous match. We haven't seen quite a lot of it in the other last 4 matches, so this is a kind of a breath of fresh air as the first pick.
You know, the thing I like the least about the Mania World Cup is that sometimes you have like bangers like this, and I cannot just map them. Like in any other World Cup, I just hear a banger and I just map it because it's not in Mania yet. But in Mania World Cup, it's already in Mania, so there's not really a point.
Yeah, sometimes song choice really depends on whether the patterns do flow well or not.
Yeah. Oh, I have a song that I'm gonna map soon, and I'm very excited for it. I don't think it has been ever mapped in those so far. It's a banger.
Yeah, it seems like I guess most of the team roster for the lobby has been kind of finalized. Yep, Russia, France, Nipco, Robot, and Nipstar or Distar. Yeah. France has Quentin, Unius, and Darmu. I believe that would also be their LN roster, the main one, I should say.
Here we go. Here we start. Russia versus France. Losers bracket matchup. Whoever loses this gets knocked out of the tournament. So they are both fighting for the tournament lives. We see already a disconnect, it seems. So this is going to be most likely a replay. Unless this third player somehow revives, which I don't think is the case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Given the name is not shown, it's probably pretty much out of the lobby. So we'll see. Probably a little bit of a report.
Dark Mew having some trouble here connecting to the lobby, so it's going to be a replay very quickly. Should be at least. I kind of want to see the result of the poll and see what the chat thinks. Is this going to be Russia? Is this going to be France who wins this? Like, honestly, I will probably put my money on Russia, but I don't think it is as one-sided.
I mean, of all things, it's not gonna be like a clean sweep. It's just at the very least a point, because that has been the trend for this entire tournament. No clean sweep whatsoever. Maybe except for a couple few that are kind of obvious.
I mean, Seed 1 versus Seed 32 Mania is very unlikely to not be a sweep.
Maybe there's some surprise that we don't know, but we'll see.
All right, now we should be fine. See every player loaded here. We see a single mirror as well by Manip Steer. Manip Steer? Manip Steer.
Yeah. Well, man, I guess because the real name was Nistar, and Nimstar has been kind of a theme from Russian naming, kind of a gentleman's agreement. But Dark Mute is the first miss on the brand side.
Unfortunate there. The player who had trouble connecting to the lobby now is the first one to drop, but in-game this time. And as we reach the combo cap, we see Manipko actually being the first one to drop on the Russian side in a very weird pattern. Overall, everyone seems to be struggling with this pick quite a lot. The coordination is certainly killing some of these combos. Was actually just declining.
Yeah, Quentin's not breaking, but Junior seems like a legitimate break.
Yeah, that did look a lot like a legitimate break. I was a bit worried about the miss here by Quentin because he wasn't really in a pattern that was particularly difficult. Like, you obviously can have like normal regular misses, and you see some 200s as well on the releases, most of them being rushed. So it could happen that you maybe are holding like too lightly and therefore drop your combo in a simple pattern. But so far, Manipstar, Ravot, and Kenting are the only full combos left. Dakimi is kind of a full combo, to be fair. He's also holding the better accuracy on the French side. It's just this early miss that is putting his score a little bit down. It's about 12k here advantage in favor of Russia, and it's most of it due to the accuracy which they are holding.
Well, I guess let's be fair. Dark Mew hasn't been like having that much of an accuracy draw after that miss, so yeah, it's as clean as you could be for a miss. Reaching last quarter doesn't seem to swing the lead that much over.
So this is painting us a pretty big picture of what this matchup is probably going to look like, because like despite the fact that France seems to be pretty decent at holding their combos together in LN maps, their accuracy just doesn't seem to be good enough really to face Russia here. It's mostly of the difference between Kenting and Rovod, about 0.30%, and then the difference between Junus, who just misses, is about the same with the other player. I will say that Darkmew and Manipstar are going to be fairly close on Olympics, but the rest of the team seems to be quite behind, especially on the ratio department. Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of a punch there to the gut, especially for accuracy for LNs in general. But actually, still holds a full combo. But Darkmew, kind of an honorary full combo because that's not even a real miss. It's just a slider break on the intro, even.
Yeah, 980k there, still the second best score on the lobby. Still behind Manipstar, who's holding the most stellar performance here. 545 best ratio, 8-200s, best 200 count. So overall, we seem to have a stronger player, at least on the lobby, in the side of Russia for Olympic. We'll see if that is the case as well with other picks that are more on the density/speed department. Like Pocket Hero for the most part, it's not about coordination. And accuracy is difficult to do in coordination picks. It's also hard to hold your combo together if it is a bit physical demanding. I don't think the players are going to have trouble with the physicality of the Olympics at all, though. It's not on that level yet.
Yeah, we're not even at that on that complexity just yet. But that's also breakpoint to Russia anyway, so it might be a tough spot to get yourself into. So Russia will have a wide selection. I guess the whole selection of rice picks in particular, just one of them will work, surely. Actually, no, they're going for Dragonlance. Huh. This is getting more interesting than I thought in terms of picks.
Okay, I mean, sure. Let's see how this bakes. I guess like France for a reason. Was it? Yeah, it was France who banned the hybrid too. So I imagine that may have something to do with this pick from Russia. Like I would have expected rice. In all honesty, maybe.
Yeah, well, we all do. Though this time though, I guess it's understandable. It's when you factor in Karami Away being the hardest physical hybrid pick. This is the second closest one to do. Except this is weirder, complex enough to make sure you can misread a whole lot of it. I should never get tired listening to this song because this song slaps so much, even in 2018.
It's a great song. This was used as an SV map, I think, back in the day. Was it like 2021, I think?
It was 2018 because
Oh,
it's
2018
a
was
SV
even
chart.
older.
Yeah, it was quite old.
So here he goes. Now he's returning as a hybrid here. And 6 stars at that, so quite challenging. It's kind of tricky as well to see how much the... I mean, of course, star rating is not the best indicator for difficulty, but seeing that quarterfinals back in the day was like maybe 4 stars, and now it's like 6 stars.
Well, part of the reason is that if you know the wub dumps in the Tome SV chart, this one is there, except it's LNs.
Yeah, the LNs just add and inflate the star rating quite a bit. But overall doesn't play as much of a 6 stars, I think, compared to other maps that we have seen before and are like lower star rating.
No, not at all.
But we have the first miss here on the Russian, no, not the Russian, but the French side. It is Junius here, top player there, and dropping a bit of accuracy alongside that combo, and everybody else still holding the ground together. About 9k points of advantage now towards the Russian side, slowly climbing and reaching the 5-digit difference. And into the second half just now. Russia holding a comfortable advantage. Just a single miss though, and the accuracy is not as much in their favor as it was in the LN pick. If it wasn't for the miss, I think this match would be... This map rather would be maybe on the 2, maybe 3k difference. And anything could happen.
It's just around there, basically.
Yeah. Overall, it seems like Robot seems to be struggling the most when it comes to accuracy and just rage in general. See how much he's rushing on the hit concentration there back on the name. But there's a miss now, again from France. As they were starting to gain some ground on the accuracy, they just managed to throw that away, unfortunately, with another miss. It's just Darkmew here against everybody. The map, in this case, is not very like spiky at all. It's just mostly the same throughout the entire thing. Of course, patterning changes. The end maybe could get someone, but...
Yeah.
I guess there's not going to be many drops on Russia's side.
The outro, though, it might be something worth looking out because last match, Sweden's Neon Dragon is rated quite a bit on this kind of streams like this, and the Ellens are not really helping this cause. Manipko with the first miss actually on the Russian side, Darkmew trades it out though.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, the miss is going to be immediately traded. Now there's another one, but on the wrong side for France. And the score lead keeps increasing. The LN suddenly making problems here for France, specifically for Mr. FR. And Russia is going to be securing this pick with a double FC on the bottom row. Another miss there by Darkmew. It's not going to change all that much. The score lead is only increasing.
Whoa.
And Russia takes the second point, their own pick, with another great performance here by Manipstire.
Oh wow, that could have been such a good score for Junius there, even without those 2 misses.
Yo, that was a very good 200 count for Darkmew as well. Like, if you remove the misses from France, they just win this, I think, right? The 200 counts, it's the similar from Mr. FR and Manikpogo. And then the 200 counts are just better for the other 2 players. Just maybe on the ratio side that Mr. FR is a little bit behind. But I think they could have taken it without misses. Of course, it's a bit too much to ask for no misses on a difficult map like this, but I think
it's hard to say.
Actually, the potential is there. I think like, on the hybrids, maybe. I mean, maybe they can go for a Raptor here, but maybe they just go for a Rise. I think.
Well, Russia
as that sounds.
Well, Russia has to go with Rise at this point, unless they want to exhaust the hybrids this early on into the match. But Rambusa is as much as I would say that's kind of ridiculous, it's kind of more straightforward than the hybrid is, even though the star rating is a bit higher because of the density. But the Rise is quite a targeted pick. France, especially when the if you're factoring the physical capabilities of France.
I mean, at this point, though, I believe your friends just because these, like, you just pick first thrust, but maybe they want to gamble and go for, like, maybe advise. I mean, I would be a bit surprised if they do. But I think this is just the kind of moment that you pick as these. Okay, never mind.
Oh, core jack time now. 146 BPM core jacks. We're entering a territory which I guess is familiar, but it's never gonna be predictable. Whose ratios better?
I am so glad I'm not playing tournaments anymore because I will have to ban core jacks every time. I hate it.
I mean, at this point in time, I guess when core jacks started to be introduced in like 2023 in round of 16, this early on, it's hard. Although it's fairly light in terms of core, I guess in terms of layering, so it's not too bad.
We have an insanely good sharpshooter on terms of accuracy between these two teams. Like, this is the kind of map you want to track the 300 count rather than 200.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, unless you miss, then I guess the score doesn't really count so much. But regardless of the 300 count, you wouldn't really have to watch out because of the non-core jack parts might be kind of tough to autopilot.
Fair. Who's gonna hold 100% for longer? Is gonna be Quentin on if it's gonna be Mister or FR.
When I mean, I guess
it's actually Kenting.
Yeah, I guess the stereotype of core jack is that the non-core jack section is always the hardest thing about core jacks.
Yep, for ratio at least, yes. Yeah, we're seeing overall a slight edge for France, it feels, but it's very contested as it stands. The accuracy from Quentin is the best of the lobby, then Juniors is tying Manipstire, and then Mr. FR is essentially just tying Robot as well. It's maybe ever so slightly behind, so it's mostly off the back of Kenting here that this lead is there. But as time goes on, the accuracy from Manipstire is just to grow higher, starting to match Kenting here, and Juniors is starting to fall behind. So is Mr. FR, but that being matched, but Robot. It's mostly on the difference between Manipcore and Juniors, who's now dropping quite a fair amount. And the lead just keeps rolling now in favor of Russia.
There's 299.9s on the side of Russia, and France only has 1. So that's pretty much all the difference lies. Although even
though.
Yeah, there's still, when I said that there's a bit of a weird anchors on the, I guess, in this map. But actually, Robot is actually dropping below the 9.7 now. So the lead is
big drop there by Robot, yes. Oh my god, this is gonna get very close at the ending. It's a third of the map only left, and the score lead is on the 3 digits.
Well, kind of.
The performances by Manipstire and Manipcore just insane, but
Robot hits a 200. Another one actually, Mr. FR!
They dropped the combo, and that may be sealing it. The score immediately skyrockets in favor of Russia here, 7,000 points. It was like on the 2 digits, and now suddenly it's there in favor of Russia, who with another miss against them, they just managed to just hold that lead together. And the outshot, there's not going to be any major complications here. There's about 20k lead, and Russia's just going to take this again.
Yeah, Robot, despite with a bit of a slight struggle in terms of accuracy, but they managed to hang it on.
And that's just core jacks for you guys. You blink and you miss, you're done. And that's essentially what happened here for France. They were holding the lead together, and at some point they started to drop some accuracy. And it was Russia that had the control of the pick for the most part, like Manipcore and Manipstire just destroying the chat completely, both with B1 double S's. They had to pull the weight of Robot a little bit, but even still, he's not even the worst score on the lobby.
Yeah, well,
France
because
the
no misses.
FC, I think they still lose though.
Yeah, I would say that because the ratio I guess the most of the Manipco and side did the heavy lifting on the ratio. So essentially, friends will have to make sure they don't miss and have a better 300 count. Essentially,
It was a great perfect count there. I think it was 65 for the lowest of the lobby there on Russia. Very, very, very solid. We had like double 998, I think, or 998, 997, which is insane.
yeah, we'll see. Because that's France's take earlier. That's also another breakpoint. So essentially, Russia will have quite a bit of a time in their lives to go with anything.
Well, Russia slowly sort of proving us wrong here that their history or their past where they had struggles keeping consistency is maybe not so much a reality anymore. At this point, we have seen a three-way FC on the core jack, which is everything and consistency for the most part. So that I feel is the main thing that Russia managed to improve from previous years, and that's what's keeping them afloat, made them get the seed
Yeah.
number 10, and what's making them honestly look like the favorites to win this matchup.
Yeah, we're seeing TV stars coming up from the Russian side. Very short, so essentially a miss really counts.
This song tilts me so hard. Like it's so
Yeah.
much. I remember this. This was like a 7-key map of ancient times, and I was trying to FC this, and I hated it. I was so
Wow.
bad at it. It just
I
kills
have-
me so much.
I've never even heard of the song or the chart even. So when you see a TV size, that's an ominous feel about when it's getting used in the tournament.
Yeah, TB size in a tournament is controversial to say the least.
That's a red flag
Yeah.
for a miss.
Disregard the background, but it's a pretty red flag.
Yeah, we're not seeing that much of a swap. I guess for
I mean, we
Well,
just
we-
have core jack, so if we're still calling on the rise department, I wouldn't see like swaps like a normal thing. I mean, core jack is like the one rise map that you may be wanting to like swap players.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Or-
we have nowadays we have like some like core jack mains that are just playing with just mainly core jacks, and then everything else they kind of just dip around, so they have to have swap some players around. That's kind of the trend for this year nowadays.
Very interesting. For the single map, I mean, I guess people do it for SVs, why not for core jacks? Well, so far the map is like almost over already. I mean, it's only a quarter through, but like that's like the joke is this a TV size. So far, we see a full-way FC here between the two teams, a small advantage in favor of Russia, mostly off the difference between current team and juniors. And there's
Oh, that's a
double burn there.
massive.
Oh, crushing
That's a-
defeat.
Yeah,
there
Quentin
by the,
just-
by the French.
Quentin just not hitting the first column there. I saw like 2 nodes just way down there. That's not even hittable. Yeah, there you go. That's the nature of TV size, unfortunately. If you miss, you will literally die.
Yep, you will essentially immediately die because there's so much less, I guess, than in a normal map. Of course, there's a big knock count anyway because it's very, very dumpy. But because the song is so short, every miss matters so much more. And despite the fact that Dagmew, for example, is holding like probably almost the best accuracy on the lobby, is very, very close. The one singular miss is putting him 10k behind at everybody else with the same accuracy. So unfortunately for France, despite having what I think is the best accuracy on the lobby, exactly there
Yeah,
it is.
it-
It's a V1 SS with a single miss and the better ratio of the lobby. They
Well,
still lose the point.
better
In
ratio
fact,
by
it's almost
1/300.
worse than juniors, who also got the FC,
Yeah.
but with a worse accuracy.
150 and 100 just barely clutched it out. Even though that's still not beating the honorary V1 MLS. Even I guess that's just very almost the same ratio with Nimco there. 193, 192. Also, V1 double S actually for this start. I didn't really even realize that. And now we're going to SVs, finally.
Alright, so this is the moment where we realize if this match is going to be a sweep or not.
Well, yeah.
I think at this point, this is the map that's going to decide that.
Well, if they're feeling confident and Russia's batting the other SV, then something is not quite as it seems.
Oh no, that's like a reference to another SB chart. It sounded like it. You
Well,
never
this
know. No, you're never gonna know what's gonna happen. What was it that you said at some point?
Well, that's
what was it?
well, yeah, you never know what's about to happen. That's a catchphrase that I used like 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the moment that it spawned. It wasn't soft, wasn't it? I think it wasn't soft.
No, it was like I believe it was like a warm up that I used in 2018, and then I used a difficulty name that was essentially that.
Yeah, that's true. It was a warm up, and then you made the reference. That's true.
And that still holds true to this day.
I mean, yeah. I guess you never know what's gonna happen.
Or maybe until, until whether or not
it
the World Cup's... Yeah, well, until the World Cup that finishes in like the next 20 years, 30 years, we never know.
Well, so far we're seeing some player swaps here. I see Batus, who's gonna be joining the French side anytime for the SVs. Otherwise, it seems like Darkmew and Kenting are both staying for France, and Rovod and Manivstar are both staying as well for Russia. So we're only missing a Russian player here.
Yeah, so essentially the Russia... I guess the most of the Russian players... not quite sure what's the third player for Russia, because I know it's I believe it's Debny, yeah? Yeah, Debny was also playing for the SVs, I guess, for the round of 32, so not too surprising here.
Yeah, I remember seeing a glimpse of Debny here joining the lobby when the map got selected. He was probably just sitting on the 7th slot for the swaps to happen. And now that everybody is ready, Batus is going to take a little bit longer to load up. But after that's sorted out, we should be getting into SB2, into First Frost. So this map likely going to be the deciding factor between whether this is going to be a sweep or not. Russia has been dominating pretty much the entirety of the... What?
What was that for Batus? That's a very low scroll.
Alright. But
okay,
he's hitting it, so...
That's a flex and a half. That's a weird flex and a half.
I like that. That looks a lot like he's using a specific skin for this map. That allows him to use such a slow
wow.
speed.
Okay. If that holds true, then exploiting a skin that plays like a fade-in almost, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that he plays a lot better than anyone in the Russian side. That's kind of
sick. Yeah, of course. Like I kind of want to see his perspective with the skin to see how much different this looks. But as you can tell, this is sort of fairly unreadable, I think, with the skin. Like this slow with a scroll speed. Like I feel like you can read it, but see that third column? Those are 2 notes. Those are like 3 notes actually. It's not even a long note, but it does look like a long note. You see the long notes are like slightly different shade of color.
Well,
so
I mean,
yeah.
it depends. It depends on the skin. So essentially, if you have like the hold length of it being different, I guess that works as well.
Well, that's interesting. As we see the score in a bigger picture, we stop focusing much on Patos over there. We see that France is leading, but not so much, really. It's only 5,000 points of advantage in a map that has low long count, like an SB chart this is. And Debny, the main substitution here being brought by Russia, is holding the better score, and nobody gets caught on the slow jam here.
I mean, looking at Batus' screen with that kind of slow jam is where all those are just cramped up. All those are cramped up.
Oh, those Selens are very tricky to release, and Manivstar and Robot are both dropping a little bit of accuracy there, and that's what's causing France to hold the lead even stronger than before, as both of the bottom row of Russia are struggling to keep themselves on the 99s, but Patos finds a huge miss there!
Oh my god!
2 or 3 at the same time, and the lead immediately flips now in favor of Russia. This could be it. The flex
Oh wow.
not working out this time.
Going
Oh
from
my god.
99.6 to 98.8. And that lead just
No,
that's another one.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. Russia's gonna keep this consistency theme that we have saw on the previous maps, and despite their accuracy not being the best this time around, they're still holding through, and there's a double miss now by Dagny on Pentic. Russia hold.
That
and
is
I think this is
absolute
just gonna be a
collapse.
sweep at this point.
Absolute collapse there on the French side, and you know, at this point in time, there's really that much you can cover from it. Russia's steamrolling ahead. Also, can I just say that even with this song at this kind of length, it's just making you more anxious, if anything, because the song just runs painfully slow, and definitely with even that drop at the very end there, it just doesn't seem to making it dead in alley whatsoever. It's just making it go forward there.
No,
45,000. That's a weird flex on the Halpatus, but it's not working this time.
Very interesting, right? You ban SV1, and then you have this SV2 score. Like what? I guess they just practiced this SV and decided not to practice the other one, so they just ban it.
Well, that's a unfortunate thing to happen.
Oh, and there is
but
the blame for the lag spice, unfortunately. There by Patos. And that's just the game sometimes. Even still, though, I think without the lag spice, like, had Patos managed to perform as well as he probably does regularly, I don't think that was, like, enough. Like, the other two French players managed to miss at some point as well, and that's very detrimental in SV pick if the rest of the other team is not breaking at all.
yeah, this is already a potential match point 5-0 to Russia, and Russia can pick anything basically, and either the hybrid or just going LNs or just go with just basically anything other than tiebreaker, of course. Still waiting for the pick to happen. Or better not.
Well, at this point,
oh,
Rise 6. Yeah.
Yep,
I
alive.
thought they would maybe go for the protect, but I mean, Rise 6 probably works.
Isn't it the first time in the entire tournament that the protect isn't picked by the team on the actual match?
I mean, that's a good question. I wouldn't know if this is the first time that happens on this tournament, but it's not something as uncommon as you may think, I believe. Especially matches that are sweeps. Like, sometimes you don't really need to go for your protect. So you just... if you're not picking to win, then you may not pick your protect, because the other team may lose their own point and then you don't get the chance to pick your protect. But in this case, having Russia being the last team to pick, if this match ends right now, I will have picked my protect, to be honest. So that's weird, I guess.
Hey, but it works. If it works, then it works.
Oh yeah, of course.
But hey, I mean, France can do the Hail Mary and maybe just break their break their point. You know, you never know what's about to happen.
All right. Yes. See. So I mean, I kind of want to believe in France, but at this point, I have more than enough reasons, I think, to believe that this match is going to end in a sweep, unfortunately. But this match specifically, it wasn't really picked as much, I think, before. It's a very tricky one. So maybe Russia's have to drop the consistency for once. It's just a From song, so...
Well, yeah, the only Rice pick that hasn't been picked is a Raw Understanding Rice 4. The life has been picked like 3 to 4 times already. So essentially, a Raw Understanding hasn't been picked yet. Maybe reserved for the winners bracket matches, but you know, that could happen as well. We saw a couple struggles in the intro because of the I guess you can call it a polyrhythm swords. Robot actually, oh, that's a massive drop at the intro. They're 98% already. And Mr. FR also trading that up. Robot actually struggling a whole lot. 97 there.
The mind blocks and the ankles on this are just so rude.
Repetition. Even then, the lead is not changing that a whole lot there, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's mostly off the back of Robot's accuracy, I think, at this point.
The whole accuracy from France is even better than Russian side, but they're still flying around back.
Oh, that few misses.
The miss there, unfortunately.
There's a 7k lead now in favor of the Russians here, who are dominating this so far. There's only been a single miss by Robot on the early stages of the map, and that is not enough for them to drop the lead. If anything, the lead seems to be slightly growing in favor of them now on the 10Ks. And with a third of the map remaining, France is maybe starting to look at the exit gate of the tournament here, but they are fighting still as much as they possibly can. They're regaining this accuracy a little bit and shrinking the score lead ever so slightly, but I don't think they have enough with just accuracy. They need to hope for misses from Russia, and as they have proven many times now in this match, consistency has improved so much for them, and instead it's going to be Darkmew and Juniors who both drop their combos, and it's only Mr. FR who's not going to be able to carry their team to the victory here. It is gonna be Russia once more defeating France and advancing into the second round of the quarterfinals losers bracket here. It's not over for them this weekend, but it's surely over for them for now.
Yeah, Russia's grabbing the broom here to sweep France 6-0, and that's a statement given their France's protect didn't go so well.
Yeah, that's a GG. SV was like the hope that France maybe had a little bit. If anything, this match, like this map specifically, wasn't as far away for the range of France. You see the comparison between Mr. FR and Robot are essentially the same scores, and so is Darkmew and Manicpo. And honestly, this could have gone on French's way, I think, had Russia not being able to hold their consistency together as much as they did.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, is end of the line for France here, and you know Russia will have with this kind of consistency. I'm kind of scared on who the matchup's gonna be for later on.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. We should see the bracket to see who they're facing on the next round while we're at it before we're closing it, because I don't think we have any more matches after this for a while, right? I believe next one is at 18 UTC.
Yeah, it's 18 UTC, which is essentially like just around 2 hours and a bit more, I would say. But this, I think, for today's schedule, well, I guess for in Asia, I guess the whole schedule has been like all lower bracket matches, kind of. So
well, that's usually the case, really. In Saturday is the day for the losers bracket because you have to play twice, for the most part. You play once on Saturday and then once on Sunday.
Yeah, essentially. So I mean, we already like finalized that Hong Kong will be facing against United Kingdom, which I believe that would be the case. But Russia will either, I mean, I guess the opponents would have to be either Japan or China, maybe, kind of.
Is that the case?
Well, we'll have to see once the, I guess, when the lower bracket has been kind of been.
Well, yeah, but like Russia wouldn't Russia be facing like the winner of, like, who is it, of Argentina, Canada, or is it like someone else?
Yeah, like we said, there's still a fair bit to go in the lower brackets. So essentially, we're not done yet in terms of like lower bracket matches. But that's still like 2 hours from 2 hours and like 16 minutes to go. So essentially, we gotta have a kind of a long break to actually close it out.
No, yeah. Just to clarify, what I was trying to say is like I didn't really know who was gonna be the team that faces Russia on the next matchup, but that's not have been decided yet because it's gonna be the winner between Taiwan and the New Zealand team, I believe. So it's not Canada against Argentina that's gonna be the decider who plays against Russia. Whoever wins between Canada and Argentina will be facing China instead, who defeated Indonesia on the previous round. So the entirety of the losers bracket is not yet decided, as you said. We're still missing Brazil, Mexico, Canada, Argentina, and Taiwan, New Zealand for that, which are two of those matches are coming up in about 2 hours, as you said. One being Argentina, Canada, and then it's Brazil, Mexico on 20 UTC.
Yeah,
But otherwise,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
by the end of the lower bracket matches, it's all gonna be like winners bracket after that. So essentially like Philippines, Chile, United States, Malaysia, Korea, Vietnam, and also Thailand. Thailand with Singapore is also essentially a winners bracket as well. So quite a bit to go. We still have a long day to get the matches to be scheduled up until the last weekend as well.
That's true. But yeah, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the stream here. I hope you enjoyed this wave of matches we had. And unfortunately, we had the first sweep of the weekend. But we're all praying for that to be the only one, right? That would be nice.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If anything, I would love to see a tiebreaker. And potential matches for tiebreaker at this point, I don't really know. I'm honestly not very sure. I think Philippines, Chile could be a very close one, so watch out for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the catchphrase that I used like 6 years ago still holds to this point. You never know what's about to happen for those matches.
That's true. But hey, that's being it for us, I think, at this point. Hope you guys have a good time. And I'll see you, or rather, we will see you in about 2 hours from now for Argentina versus Canada.
Take care, everyone.